My name is Cay Bond. I'm a trend analyst, journalist, writer, and lecturer. My work consists in analyzing socio-cultural movements in society in order for people to understand the development of design, technology, and the conduct on the market. I have a passion for culture, arts, and talents as a result of my lifelong experience analyzing the present and the history. My working life has taken me to unexpected adventures, to, among other places, Paris, the culture city where I got my education, learned French, and worked with a bureau de tendance, to Vietnam for a couple of years on a mission for the Swedish government, investigating the status of production, where the French language became my rescue. There is a song called California Dreaming by Mamas and the Papas from 1965 that illustrates the feeling in this style. The last 12 years I have spent a lot of time in Santa Monica, Venice, Malibu, and I have experienced people's quality of life. It's a combination of different art forms and an awareness of the environment and how physical well-being counts. A younger but mature generation has slowly been taking over and introduced a delightful and mindful lifestyle without forgetting the sources. Their history is well kept and the modern is straightforward. Mind you, even if Los Angeles and Hollywood is next door, the way of living here by the ocean has nothing to do with any glam or red carpet. Let me tell you the true story about an inspiring and hard-working woman I met in Malibu who happened to have roots from the dark woods in Sweden. Helen Henderson grew up in Luleå in north of Sweden with a Swedish mother and an African-American father. A jazz musician who met a beautiful girl while touring in northern Sweden. Helen first learned cooking from her mother, which was not fashionable at the time and even not considered a career for a woman. She left for America to find bigger things with a one-way ticket. She worked as a model and a graphic designer, but somehow the kitchen attracted her more. After some years, she met her husband John, who was a surfer. He wanted to live near the ocean and she wanted some land for some vegetable beds. They moved to Malibu in 2008 after a long search for the perfect house. They finally found a little neglected craftsman house on a 2-acre lot filled with weeds and potential. There was also a rusty old barn and a corral. Their neighbor had horses and 28 loud peacocks. After some struggling years getting their act together, they now have goats, a pig, dogs, and a cat, chicken and bees, a vineyard, fruit trees and vegetable gardens, and their backyard Malibu farm is completed. Since then, she trained her cooking and became known for her farm dinners, where people came from everywhere to attend, and so did Martin Löv, a Swedish photographer who wished to photograph these feasts. And that became a book. By coincidence, while making the book Malibu Farm, Helen got an offer to handle a pop-up restaurant on Malibu Pier. She made it into a rustic, beautiful spot by the ocean, and now she got a long lease. With husband John and children, they live on the farm nearby, where they grow the food they serve. It's an eco-sustainable lifestyle, which is fantastic to take part of when you fly to LA. The book Malibu Farm is tremendously inspiring. It's filled with recipes from the Californian coast, but you can sense a Swedish traditional touch. The mix of the Californian and the Swedish is very much a trend today, probably as so many Swedish families live and work with the new media in California. The surf culture is more present than ever, and the sea and beach culture that comes with it inspire decoration and fashion as well. It's rustic and salty. It's easygoing and comfy. It's about enjoying nature from early age, and it's about hanging around with friends, eating healthy and delicious food in places like Malibu Pier. Our global reputation has a Nordic shimmer, so many countries have a great interest in our nature. Our light, our wooden furnitures, our birch trees, our tree houses, or even our various environments where traditional festivities takes place in settings where our lifestyles are visible in worldwide interior media. The northern part are more rustic and adventurous. The middle is known for many carpentries, and the south and west coasts are our pride in terms of making modern life sustainable and environmental. On the international market right now, you clearly can notice the Nordic influence and the picture of our clean and beautiful sceneries, our famous light which is behind our choices of material and colors. The Nordic summer light is an inspiration used with advantage to create those special nuances that the international design world somehow envy us. This is also linked to our special capability to make the choice of materials. The love for wood is a heritage. Our preference is to build, furnish, and decorate with wood. What you have to realize is that you can easily use our reputation as a selling tool and present modern aspects of interiors with designed products, remembering our amazing sources. The fact that you cannot be modern without your history is obvious. Craft is a magic and trendy word used all over and makes designed furniture or objects valuable. New technology will also enable a new generation of craftsmen to make useful design. If you remain true to your own culture, you can create unique, contemporary, or traditional products aimed for an international, curious market. I choose this inspiration as a mirror of our time, affected by the past and the present. The present interest for design from the 50s is extremely popular among a younger generation in their 30s-50s. It started out with the interest for vintage and certain elegant shapes and materials, and it continued with contemporary new design where form and colors takes multiple shapes. Wood and elegant wood treatments are extremely important. Wood tones are delicate and warm and mixed in interior with colored surfaces of furniture and objects. You could say that the style is somewhat feminine, and so are the choices of colors. Humor is also an important component in this style, especially in the way of decorating interiors. The influence for modern art is also obvious. So many new galleries are popping up and art exhibitions became trendy again, and well-off generation are also eager to get it right and investing in valuable objects. We are experiencing a new curiosity for modern design mixed with original and historical pieces. Ever since Jonathan Adler became a famous decorator in USA, famous for his easygoing and cheerful mix, I have followed his path and seen that he created a new composition of many different styles, actually. My prescription for antidepressive living, he calls his decoration ideas. One of his books is about how interior decorating can change your life. He claims he can rescue you from whatever decorating diseases you are struggling with. Needless to say that he is not a minimalist. So think vivid and think color, pastels mixed with strong orange, greens, blues, etc. In fashion, there is a return to femininity after a long unisex era, and that goes for furnishing as well. Politically correct, you could add. But the fact is that interior stylist or decorator has become an important profession for women. She knows where the cupboard stands at home anyway. I don't neglect male decorators, however, this theme is slightly more feminine. The inspiration is a lot about female choices and female activities, which, by the way, men loves at home anyway. Yoga became a calm and silent movement to work efficiently at home with your body. Along with that, in interior fashion comes the sensual pastels, in the intimate bedroom or dressing room, or in spaces for retreat and reflection. So be brave, dare to try mixing styles, calm and vivid. If Touch of Grace is about mixing and matching, this influence is only about strict matching. This is a rigorous theme that inspires to knowledge, research about architecture, art and form, and new science. I see many professionals choosing this movement of correctness. This could be the homes of architects, industrial designers, art directors, communicators, etc., who choose carefully with knowledge and determination. It's about high standards and luxury for life. Some commentators define modernism as a mode of thinking, or more philosophically defined, characteristics like self-consciousness or self-reference that run across all the novelties in the arts and the disciplines. More common, especially in the West, are those who see it as a socially progressive trend of thought that affirms the power of human beings to create, improve, and reshape their environment with the aid of practical experimentation, scientific knowledge, or technology. From this perspective, modernism encouraged the re-examination of every aspect of existence, from commerce to philosophy, with the goal of finding that which holding back progress and replacing it with new ways of reaching the same end. It's no question about the fact that due to the awareness of overconsumption of products has led to a huge interest in valuable things. As a result of that, a home filled with correct objects became a real attraction. The consumer gets more and more trained in knowing about the function of various materials and the status of fashion. Strong and powerful expressions should not be hindered. There is an urge to do things right. Therefore, the choice of materials for these habitats has to be ethic as well as aesthetic. The most important source of all for design and fashion creation is gardening. It became the hottest subject in media after food. Well, fashionable food is also very much related to growth, right? Now everyone gets inspired to buy flowers to decorate the furniture at home. We suddenly had enough of minimalism. Continuously, we see more flower prints than ever all over, in clothing, on wallpapers, as shapes or decor on porcelain, carved wood, painted on ceramics, paintings old and new. The world's fashion creators have never used so many fashion prints before. We are surrounded and we don't mind, and we bring fresh flowers inside again. Is there something in everyday life that we see so much of as vegetation? Beautiful gardens in amazing green colors and fantastic flowers of all kinds. I believe there is no greater inspiration for artists. The garden, the parks, the woods are probably the most evident source of creations. It also became a place for retreat and contemplation. But that's not the whole story. My inspiration to this theme is also the fact that architects work more and more with landscape architects or gardeners. The first one out was Patrick Blanc, the French guy who invented vertical gardens on house facades for the well-being and the beauty of it in a city. Then the young Bjarke Ingels, then a young Danish architect, built the first modern family compound, a modern block of apartments in Copenhagen, where every apartment had its own garden on a terrace. Now he became famous first for his new invention, just when the awareness on flowers and greenery and the impact on human beings came through. He's now in New York building the most impossible buildings considering human rights to nature. We even have an example of this happening in Stockholm. Oskar Engelbert is the new generation city builder who brought one of the most respected and land architects to town for a garden surrounding at Norra Djurgården in Stockholm, the Dutchman Piet Oudolf. He is mostly known for having created a garden out of the old rail, the High Line in New York, now a delightful park promenade in the middle of the old Butchers district. So let's celebrate the garden atmosphere forever. To me, as an international trend analyst, my work for Bona is a perfect match. Discovering the rich variation of products aimed for many looks and lifestyles is like a true goodie bag. I like to summarize these interior decorations: Nordic shimmer, garden atmosphere, Malibu dreams, touch of grace and new modern, and mention that choices and variation lies ahead. Possibilities are always a relief to define, but strong directions are essential. Good luck.